Hey guys, this is John. Welcome back to the channel. I am so excited to have three of my cycling heroes in this video, and so stay tuned to the very end and enjoy this show. Wow, talking about the middle of nowhere. May as well be the center of the universe. You know, I always love coming here because I know there's cool stuff coming. Can't wait to see this frame. Knock, knock.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
I didn't hear you come in. You startled me a little.
Thanks for coming in on a Saturday.
Oh, well, Saturday is kind of my... Saturday is one of my normal days.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Look at this ugliness here. Oh, guys. Well, we're here to pick up a frame, but you know, you got to look at the candy when you're here, right?
Sure.
Wow, this is, gives me something to look forward to. I'm so excited.
Yeah, this is something I built in 2012.
Oh, so it's vintage. Wow. Not
Well,
really.
sort of. Vintage.
All right, so where's this bike?
All right, John, here's what you came for. What
Look
do you
at
think?
this. Can you put it in the stand?
I would be happy to.
That'd be great. Man, this thing is gorgeous. This thing's sick. You can tell by, look at that. Check out that oversized top tube, guys. That's a 1 1/8 inch top tube, which is pretty uncommon. I can't wait to ask Ron what the heck's going on with that. You can see it has the internal cable routing here. Found out this boss only fits the AX-EX shifters, which is an early 80s era.
And did you ever talk to Ron about what this...
Yeah, there's a brace on guys underneath here.
And another one there is, what are those about?
Well, that'd be a question when I talk to him. So, man, this is just gorgeous. I'm gonna put some nice Dura-Ace AX and EX parts on this thing, which is gonna be perfect. I do have the bearing rates for the fork. Can we pound that on today?
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, bring it in.
Great, yeah, I left it in the
If it's out
car.
in the car or if it's here, yeah, we can do that.
Well, this is gorgeous. Can you give me a tutorial on how you did these this logo? Because you said you painted that on, which is nuts.
Yeah, all right. I had, thanks to Eddie Weissler, and Eddie Weissler had a bike shop called Cyclery North. Eddie was the best frame painter that I knew about back then. This is before I started doing my own paint, so I had Eddie do my paint for me. And through Eddie, I met Ron, because I think Eddie was doing Ron's paint at that time as well. Right. And in any case, Eddie had drawers full of decals, and I got a hold of a set of Ron's decals from Eddie, and I had them over here in my drawer for years and years. And then you came in with this RRB, and it's like, okay, well, I've got an original set of decals. They were the wrong color. They were water slides. They had turned completely yellow, so they probably weren't good anymore. So I sent them to Gary Prang, at Screen Specialties. He recreated them, but he did them in spray masks. What a spray mask is basically you get a masking material. So this has been, cut on a computer plotter, and at this point they're not weeded. And you can weed them beforehand, or you can weed them on the frame. I typically weed them on the frame, and if you like, I can actually do a demonstration.
That'd be so cool.
I'll be happy.
Well, we're all gonna learn something today, guys.
This is application tape, and this is frosted. And the thing is, this stuff is tacky, but it's not super, super tacky. All right. Now.
Oh, I see. So you press it on there.
Yeah. All right, see, so now I can lift that off of there. And I've got these little nicks.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Those little points.
Yeah.
That marks the center line of the decal. So,
gotcha.
Let's say we want that decal right here in the center of the top tube.
All right.
Okay, this is just a simple straight edge that has these blocks on it, so that I can put it on a surface like a tube like this.
Oh, and that gives you the center.
And so I'm going to get a straight line.
That is brilliant. All right.
So now I take my mask.
All right.
And I lay it down there, and I line up those little points. Line up those little points on my line. And then we kind of smooth the mask down, and I don't worry about any bubbles particularly. And so now I peel off the transfer tape. See, all the adhesives on this have to be just right.
Right.
They can't be too sticky.
Can imagine, right?
Yeah. All right, so then come down here and we very carefully.
All right, so you just pull that off.
So, all right.
Whoa, okay, so that's your mask.
Yeah, so that's the mask.
All right.
And so then we can kind of peel out the, the letters. And you got to be a little bit careful, like in the center of the R.
Sure. That could
And
come
those
with
centers
it,
of the
right?
B's. But,
Oh,
but there it is.
That's just brilliant. So then,
And so then you go in, you mix up the appropriate paint, airbrush it in, and of course I mask out more of this so we don't, eliminate
course.
overspray. But like an airbrush, you don't have to mask the whole bike,
right.
But there it is.
How long do you let it dry fully before you pull that?
Well, the paint dries pretty darn quick.
Oh, okay. Well, that is absolutely fascinating. Thanks so much for showing me that, because when I see something like this, I like to know how it's done.
Yeah.
Guys, look at that graphic. It's beautiful. Beautiful gold. Got
and
it in the head tube.
And the nice thing about these is you can do them any color.
Right. That's true.
If you're real patient, you can do them in multicolor.
Guys, here's the fork. We're going to put the race on here. We're going to put a Dura-Ace aluminum headset on it.
That's a Chinelli crown.
Chinelli crown. Okay, I didn't know that. Beautiful. That's a Chinelli bottom bracket too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's a Chinelli bottom bracket as well.
All right, Jeffrey wanted to show me this thing outside. Yeah, look at how that thing lights up.
Yeah.
That's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Gosh, this is going to look so great with the Dura-Ace parts on it.
No, I mean, this is definitely, I think, a bike you want to look at outdoors. I mean, it just
Pops.
Yeah.
Whee! Gosh, that's fun.
Yeah. Slide hammer. And there you go.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. You're a total artist. And once again, thanks for the hard work. And I'm looking forward to my frame. I'm just so excited. And you said that frame will be done next week, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yeah. My pleasure. And this was kind of fun. I haven't laid eyes on an RRB in decades. So this was kind of fun. God, there's fingerprints all over this.
You know what, guys? I'm always amazed when I leave here. Jeffrey has such a wide breadth of knowledge. It's just awesome. Next thing you're going to see is me in the shop with this frame. We're going to build this thing. Hey, we're going to work on this RRB, and I got a lot of questions on this thing. You know, what year it is, and also, by the way, it's got internal cable routing that I have no clue how this thing runs. So I thought I'd bring in an expert, and here he is now. This is Ron Boi, the builder of the builder of the RRB. So I couldn't have a better guest to build this thing. And yeah, I'm afraid of this thing, so he's going to help me out.
He's afraid. It's a bicycle.
It's a bicycle.
Son, how could you be afraid of a bicycle?
I'm not afraid of a bicycle.
I mean, what was your first bike? You had a Schwinn Varsity, didn't you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Schwinn World Sport was my first.
Even better.
Yep, a little bit lighter weight, a little bit. So he's going to help me out with this thing. We're going to put this thing together as we interview him and learn about his life and career. I have something special to show him a little bit later, but I think we should just get started. What do you think?
You bet.
All right. Hey, Ron, I got some questions on this frame. Why do we have a 1 1/8 inch top tube on this thing?
When you have that oversized top tube, when you crank on the handlebars,
Yep.
that head tube stays more in line with the seat tube.
Gotcha.
You reduce the amount of flex.
So you're doing it for stiffness.
Yes.
There's also a couple things that are unique on this. One is these stays look like they're bulging out.
They are. They leave the bottom bracket, which is the normal 22.2 millimeters. Then they expand to 24 millimeters, and then they're ovalized to clear the wheel.
Gotcha. And there's no sticker on this. What kind of tubing do you think you used back then?
Pretty sure this is all 531,
Okay.
except the chain stays and seat stays.
Gotcha.
And I think the seat stays are Super Vitas.
Super
If I
Vitas?
recall, that was from their Aero sets.
Pretty sharp. And this bike looks like it was during that Aero era. You do have the Dura-Ace Brazon on here for the shifter, and that would bring us to between 80 and 82. Guys, if you have any more comments on that, let me know in the comment section. We also have some unique cable routing, which, gosh, I'm so glad you're here. It runs inside, and then there's something tricky we have to do here, which he's going to show me how to do. One other thing that was strange, that when Jeffrey looked at it, we didn't know why we had Brazons here and under here. What was that for?
There was in that era a big box mounted on the handlebar called the Pacer 2000,
Right.
speedometer and RPMs.
Gotcha.
The speed came off the rear wheel, and the RPMs came off the crankset, of course.
Okay.
And they were designed to be held on with stainless steel clamps, but the guys who were having frames built by us, they were like, oh man, I can't handle those clamps.
Yeah, it looks silly.
Can you put braze-ons for me? So we did that then, during that era of the Pacer 2000.
Well, that's cool. Now I can mount a bottle cage underneath there.
Yeah, half a bottle. This is our first aero road frame. We had built an aero track frame the year before, but what's coming up was the first race across America. And Ron Haldeman asked me, can you build me some frames? So I built them 3 frames, and if you watch the video from ABC, you're going to see a red frame, a white frame, and a blue frame, and this is the blue frame. This was the aero frame that I built for Ron Haldeman.
Wow.
Yeah, and he raced on this
So he raced on
his
this.
first 3 years.
And somehow you got it back.
Yes, over time, things change, and he's got a basement full of bicycles. Anyway, so it's like, hey, and then it's time to refurb it and get a fresh paint on there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you going to give this back to him?
Well, I don't know what we're going to do with it.
That's beautiful.
What do you think we should do with this, John?
I don't know. I'd like to see Lon ride it again. Wouldn't that be cool?
Does he ride? Yeah, he rides all over the world.
He does ride.
He does charitable things and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He's coming to the channel soon, too, by the way. I've been talking with
That'd
him.
be great. That'd
Yeah,
be good.
that's great.
Yeah.
Wow, this thing is sharp. So you built this back for Lon and Race Across America. And gosh, look at this thing. Is this one of a kind, or how many of these did you build?
Then people began to notice something. People would drive in from different places in the country. Oh, you got to build me one. Oh, it's such hard work. It doesn't have lugs. I'm a lug guy.
Right.
When you build with lugs, it's kind of like a plumber. You just, and it's done. But when you do this, you got to really work this.
That's some real fabrication.
And when I had seen years ago the early frames with no lugs, Corky Gilbranson from the East Coast, built in the 50s, 60s, I'm like, oh, I'll never be able to do that. Because it is a lot of work. But
Right.
it's not impossible, and we kind of graduated into some reasonableness of it.
That's sure.
Not quite Richie.
Yeah, not quite rich. Yeah. Like
You know.
that. All right, Ron, I got a video I'd like you to see here. Let me punch this up. We got a message for you.
Hi, Ron. It's been a few years since I've seen you, but I just wanted to say hello again and remember back in 1982 when first met you and you were with me on the Great American Bike Race, and I used your bikes across the country. Actually, remember that poster that we made riding that red RRB? And then next year I did your with Susan here, we had the blue tandem. Remember the blue tandem that you made us? And I also rode your bikes on Race Across America that year, 1983, 84, 85, 86. You were with us as a team mechanic on all those rides.
That's awesome.
Those were great years, so thank you very much.
Man, that's so cool. So how did you get involved with Ron in the first place?
Well, I knew Ron from his bike shop on Green Bay Road in Winnetka. We got to be friends. And when he heard about the Great American Bike Race happening in 1982, he wanted to be a mechanic. And I knew he built great bikes, and I needed a bicycle for the ride. So we actually built me 3 bikes for the 82 ride.
No kidding.
And then about every year, we usually built another one, tried out some different geometries and different things like that. And so that's, he built actually another bike, 1986, for another tandem transcontinental for me and Susan. So over the years, he probably built us he built Susan's bikes too for her women's solo transcontinental in 1982. And so he built her several bikes too. So we rode probably 10 RRB bikes over the years.
That's quite a history.
Yes.
Hey, well, thanks
Got
for
one
sharing
like
that
the
today.
Blue
I'm sure
Arrow
Ron's
bike.
glad to see you.
Oh, does she?
But in
Okay.
a
All right.
beautiful
Bye, Ron.
grabber green that currently is in the Italian American Sports Museum.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So that one went to there.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
How fun? How fun is that? Wow. And there's the jacket.
So what's up with this jacket?
How fun to go with Lon all those years.
Yeah.
Those first 3 race across the Americas. Help him out with the bikes and got a jacket. How fun is that?
Something you might not remember is I was building wheels in the early 80s. I got good at it with the Schwinn Service School. I got a little bit of reputation. And I would call you for advice. I don't know if, I wouldn't expect you to remember those phone calls. I did it twice. Hey, can I use this spoke pattern for a guy that weighs this much? And you were really helpful. You didn't know who I was.
We
You
built
just
a lot of wheels. And look at how many people have built wheels at all the different bike stores. What a nice task to put those spokes in there. Weaving a wheel with spokes and tensioning them
I love it.
and making the ride.
Exactly. Well, hey, would you do me a favor and help me with this bike?
Yes, let's do that.
Cool. Hey guys, I just wanted to take a moment to ask you to come to John's Vintage Road Bike Garage on Facebook. Join me there. Subscribe to the channel, but join me on Facebook. I love a chance to communicate with the people watching the videos. That's a great place to do it. Where I'm gonna need your help the most is running these cables, and because it's nuts. I'm looking underneath there, and you could describe it all you want, but I'm not really quite grasping it.
We're not putting on SRAM Red Wireless?
No, we are not. We are going vintage all the way.
We are.
Everything but the rims. The rims are somewhat modern, but everything else is going to be apropos. We got some Open Pro Sports or Open Sports. These are from maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And some VeloFlex tires. Of course, the rest of our parts kit, guys, is right here.
What is this stuff?
I don't know. What is it? It's walled.
Dura-Ace.
That's walled cranks.
Mix of AX and EX, which was the combination that was on this bike when Bob bought it from us. Like I said to you over the phone, you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
We've been watching it. So.
Well, what's really strange, for me anyway, is when you learn that people that you admired, in your cycling world, and you find out that they were.
We're gonna need Scotch tape
All
to
right.
tape these 2 cables together so we can fish the rear one back through the chainstay thing.
Gotcha. Is there any casing internally on the back?
We're gonna put some cable casing in there as well, about a 4-inch section, and there'll be about a 3-inch section that goes up to the front.
Oh, so glad you're here. All right, let me get some tape.
Yes.
We have cable casing. Do you want the?
If you have the leftover pink you're trying to get rid of, this is the place to put it. On a hunk of cable casing,
Right.
and that's gonna fish inside the bottom bracket area to allow that rear derailleur cable to run from the lever out the chainstay to the rear derailleur.
Gotcha. All right.
And then, to do that, to fish the cable part back, we're gonna run that tip to tip, put some tape around there, real small layer of tape,
Yep.
and run that back.
Run
through
that
there.
back.
And
All
hope-
right.
And hope not to yank the tape off.
All right.
And then twirl it a little bit with your fingernail, and the other one. And on later frames, we would run a small diameter stainless tube all the way from the entrance at the shift lever all the way to the exit on the C tube and on the chainstay. Made life easier.
You see, you tuck that in and you cut the rest off.
Yeah, we wanna get that in there and cut the rest of the tape off. All right. So then hopefully we get it to hold. And if it only takes us 17 times, that's a success.
Yeah. Better you than me.
Or maybe 1.
All right, we'll make you look good on camera though.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So, and when other mechanics from other stores would call us, "What the hell have I got to do here?" Like, well, it's you're a mechanic.
Figure it out.
Why the heck did you do it this way? Well, if you're lucky and you get a later version, you'll get the one that has the stainless tubing liner all the way from the entrance to the exit.
Hold on, cut. All right, so you got them connected.
We sure do.
Now we're gonna
We hope.
gently,
We hope.
gently fish that through.
We are. So,
All right.
casing out of the way, and it's like, push me, pull me. Remember who that's from? What book is
Push
that
me,
from?
pull me.
Push
No.
me, pull me. Dr. Doolittle. Push me, pull me.
All right. Ready, guys? Say a prayer. It comes out here at the end. The tape's
Yeah.
got to go through that little... Oh, I see the challenge. Oh, look at this. Whoa, an expert. Like
Look at that.
you've done this
It
before,
only
Ron.
took 17 tries.
Actually, guys, that was the first take.
John, don't lie on tape.
It was the first try.
It was the first. I haven't done that in 40 years.
All right. Well, thank God you're here because I would have been clueless. So, all right. So,
How fun was that?
okay. So now,
So we push the casing up the down tube,
all right.
pull the wire into the chainstay, and then
Fish that.
swizzle that casing down a little bit and into the chainstay.
All right. How's it look?
Looks like we're connected.
Wow, look at that.
Oh,
You made it look easy.
we forgot to put the lube
Oh, in here?
right in that little hole.
Well, we could do that.
What do you think?
Squirt it in there.
What do you think?
Or you could pull the cable through and lube the cable. What do you want?
Tri-flow?
We got tri-flow. Let's see what we did here. Here we go, guys. We got a good shot of the casing.
Wow.
And that's my bottom bracket's going to clear that, right? My
Yes.
sealed cartridge?
Yes.
Good. Woo! Awesome.
Nice.
Guys, you have no idea how glad I am to have Ron here because I wouldn't know how much casing to run and where to run it. And he seems to have this down as if maybe he invented this bike or something. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I invented the bicycle.
the bicycle or this bicycle.
My first bicycle, 1960, was a Schwinn one-speeder middleweight. And then in 64, I got a Schwinn Continental.
Ooh, living
And
large.
in 66, I got a Schwinn Paramount.
Nice.
What a lucky guy I am.
So what inspired you to actually build your first bicycle?
I was working at Turin on Clark Street,
Oh, okay.
and Lee Katz was importing tubing and lugs and crowns and things, and Dwight Safter was there, and it was like, hey, they were going to build some frames. I'm like, gee, maybe I could take a set home. My brothers have an oxyacetylene torch in the garage. So that was it. I was
No
like,
kidding.
let's go give that a try. And my brother Wally, who eventually worked with me at RRB, he was a draftsman at Eaton, Yale, and Town, the people who made all kinds of product. And when he first saw me trying to braze the frame, he said, no. You gotta, because of that, the manufacturing facility, he saw guys putting stainless steel pieces together for all types of products from Eaton, Yale, and Town with silver brazing. He's like, you gotta do it with the silver brazing. So we got some silver brazing rod, and then of course that's what makes all that lug work so much easier to do is when you have the silver. So how fun. Wow.
Well, guys, we got the cables routed up. Thank God for Ron for doing that. And now the rest of it's pretty easy to put together.
So John, you've probably been wondering why, your whole life, why are pedals threaded right hand and left hand thread?
Well, that keeps me up at night, actually.
Yeah, but why did you think they were that way?
Well, I would think they were that way. I guess a pedal doesn't back out or something when you're...
No,
No?
they're threaded that way because you want them to back out. Ed Nasletti told me why. Now, Ed's from the East Coast where they had 6-day bike racing indoor.
Okay.
And in the 1800s, 1890s, when you're way high up on the board track, and the bearings weren't that good back then. And sometimes the round ball bearings would turn square, and the pedal would completely seize, and you're strapped into those fixed gear pedals coming down the bank at 40 miles an hour, and the pedals would seize. And if the bearing pedal seizes on a fixed gear track bike coming down the bank, you want the pedals to
back out.
unscrew. So they're right and left hand thread so that they would purposefully unscrew in that moment on the track.
Interesting.
So
Just
thank
tough.
Ed Nasletti.
All right.
He told me the real story.
That's interesting.
And look, miracle of ball bearings. This thing actually spins. This is fantastic. What a good idea.
And it's not rubbing against the cable.
Yes, how about that?
All right, Ron, let's get this thing built. We got the hard part done.
How fun is that?
So what year did you start your shop?
Start to shop. First year we built the frame was 1969. And of course, that was in the garage. Then you begin to think, well, maybe I should have a bike store. So eventually, opened up the bike store with the frame shop in it. So that was about 1973.
73.
73 on Green Bay Road. And we've been on a variety of locations on Green Bay Road. Like Juan said, Winnetka, we were in Winnetka for a while.
Sure.
And then we moved to the later location that we stayed for 40 years plus in Kennewick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember Alberto's in Winnetka.
Alberto's in Winnetka, way at the other end, in the fancy part of Winnetka.
Well, guys, what I'm not going to do is try to fool you. This is not the right bottom bracket as you're looking at the distance here. Cartridge bottom bracket doesn't work with all the casings that are in here. So I have to get myself a Dura-Ace AX spindle.
Dura-Ace AX.
What length do you think that is?
The 109.
Well, he's pretty confident, 109.
That
So
one I know.
yeah, that's awesome. So it works.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad I had that little pile of. He's win. So did you ever race?
We did race. In fact, that's how I met Michael Nelson on the bike path in Lincoln Park back in '69. And he dragged me over to Turin because he said, "You're pretty fast. You should come with me to the bike store. We're going to the bike race on Sunday." I said, "Well, I wouldn't mind trying that." So Michael Nelson, who worked at Turin, got me into bike racing. And then over to the bike store and off to the races on that Sunday, and I was hooked.
I liked it a little bit on the tall side.
Yes, oh yes.
I'm old.
No, oh, no.
No.
That's why we have drop bars. We can use the bottom when we need to.
True.
When we're riding Randall Road in 1967, and it was 2-lane all the way from here to Crystal Lake.
Ron, I was riding it in 1984. Seriously.
Still 2-lane.
Yeah, I was riding in 1984. Now it's just nuts.
Yes.
All right. Ooh, that looks pretty. Guys, you're getting a quick job here because this is from a bicycle that I have. This whole group is from a Lotus, and you'll see a video on the Lotus getting built with some super record later
Goes
on.
in here.
Thank God you're here. Cut. Now we got to run this arrow cable.
We think we're going to run that right through there.
We think we do.
We think we are.
All right, let's see.
Did you clean out the cobwebs inside the frame?
Yep, I think Jeff did when he cleaned out the frame here, when he painted it.
I'm sure he did.
All right, let's see what we got. See if this works. Oh,
What
come
happened?
on!
What happened? I haven't done that in 40 years.
Yeah. Oh wait, you built bikes within 40 years. Don't give me
Oh,
that.
maybe, but I forgot.
It's just the fact that they went right through.
How lucky are we?
Is there any funnels in there or no?
No.
There's no funnel.
No. It's just a big oval and then the braze-on piece on there.
All right. Yeah.
So,
You're really getting lucky.
there we go.
There it comes right out. Awesome.
John, what did we do here?
Yeah. Can you ask why it's double recessed?
So you could go the other way,
Oh, I see.
but
So people running arrow.
that was the TT thing of the 60s.
Oh,
70s.
okay.
But there could have been, I'll have to hunt for, a little brass insert to go in there.
Interesting. All right. Well,
So while we can put that there,
yeah. Well, temporary then, because we
Yes.
want to get this built. But yeah, I was wondering why there's no.
we'll want the brass insert in there.
That makes
Because
sense.
when you're going 60 miles an hour downhill,
Happens all the time.
yeah, I know. In Bull Valley, near Crystal Lake,
Oh, sure.
we can go 60
You
miles
got
an
that
hour.
hill. You got that hill.
Got those hills. And we would ride from the city in the 60s and 70s all the way to Bull Valley just to ride loops for the hills. What an incredible era to ride loops in Bull Valley. Not anymore. Too many homes, too much traffic.
The Wheeling Wheelman's Harmon Hunter went through there.
Yes.
And there's some good climbs and some good downhill.
RRB guys were eventually banned from going on the Wheelman Harmon 100 because we rode too fast.
You rode too fast?
Yeah, and they kind of thought that was rude that someone would finish in 2-3 hours. Like, that's not the joy of the ride. You're supposed to stop at the food station. Nah.
I wouldn't think they'd care.
Bob Wright, he just wanted to get the ride over with, get back home. So,
Well, we had a crew there. We were just going for the 5-hour century. We ended up doing it 5.5 hours, the Action Cyclery crew.
yes.
And there was a guy there we met, and his name was Ken LeBay. He was actually,
Yes.
you know Ken?
And he rode in our group at times too. Yeah, he graduated to RRB.
Ken LeBay, I met him on the Harmon 100. He was 13 years old, riding a Schwinn varsity with like flip-flops on.
Yes.
And he kept up with us for the last 30 miles. We couldn't drop him. We called him Little Rock. And he's like, just what a great kid, you know, soft-spoken, really nice. But we couldn't drop him. It was raining. And he kept up with us in a Schwinn varsity. And then we invited him to the shop. He came on a couple training rides. And then he said, you know what? I'm sorry, but my mom can't get me here to do anything. She's a single mom. I'm going to start riding for someone closer to him. I think it was Bikes Plus or either Village Cycle Sport. I'm not sure.
Yes.
So then he ended up with you, huh?
Yes. Yep.
That makes total sense. Well, he went pro and he rode.
He
He
sure
rode
did.
with Lance, and
He sure did.
He's a great guy. He's cycling again,
And promoting cyclocross like crazy.
yeah, he's a race announcer, is he not?
He sure is.
Yeah.
So the bike stores would support all the different bike clubs, both touring and sport and racing. And because there's so little ability at the bike stores now to have that extra free time to promote the juniors, so where are we going to get new juniors for in the future?
Yeah, there's very few.
We're going to have to kidnap them off the streets. It's frowned upon that. Where did my son go? And we kidnapped him and we shipped him off to Italy to be on a bike racing team.
So how did you end up doing support for Lon on Race Across America?
How did we do that?
Yeah, how did you do that?
Acquaintance friend who frequented the bike store, the year before that first Great American Bike Race, he lived near Northbrook Track. And he noticed that some guy named Lon was going to come out and attempt to break the 24-hour record on the track. His name's Frank. And Frank went out to the track, and with any sport event, there's not enough helpers. And so Frank noticed Lon could use helpers. And he offered to hand up water bottles to Lon. And Frank ended up staying the whole 24 hours helping Lon, feeding him water bottles and food. And he said to me after that record, Ron, you got to meet Lon. Guy's amazing. He's a machine. So then Frank introduced me to Lon.
Oh, that's cool.
That's how we became acquainted.
How did you have time to do that when you're running a shop?
Oh no, I had people.
You had people.
No one ever has enough people.
That's true. Terrific.
Look at that third hand.
Look
How
at that.
beautiful is that?
Gotta have one of these.
Am I your third hand?
You're my fourth and fifth hand right now. You're doing all the work.
Thank you.
I haven't touched this
Oh
thing.
look, the wheel spins.
It's a miracle.
It is. I wonder what kind of gold powder Jeffrey Bach puts into the paint to get the gold like that.
That's a good question.
Is that 10 karat gold or 14 karat gold?
Probably no carrots at all. Yeah, actually, there's footage at the beginning of this video of him showing how he does that, and I'm sure you've done it and you're familiar with it. But
We did it occasionally that way, but I was more like simple. I'm like, lugs, not lugless, although the aero bike and a few others, and then peel and stick vinyl. That was my deal. Get the sticker in there and get it out the door.
well, I want to do the peel and stick vinyl. You offered them to me, and Jeffrey was not pleased. Jeffrey he's a certified artist. He knows what he
Yes.
likes, and he's
And
like,
I'm delighted that he did it this way.
you like that?
Yes, I'm
Wow.
delighted that he beat you up.
He knows better, and
Yes.
that's why I go to him. And
Yes.
I'm thinking, boy, I hope Ron likes it.
When my staff would do this on their different paint jobs for their own bikes, and I'd leave them there at night and come back in the morning, and they'd be nearly done with all of this work, and be like, yeah, okay, yeah, good for you. I had to go to sleep.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
Well, this color combo was just luck because originally I asked him to do the green, but when you saw the ad, it was more like a burgundy, brownish burgundy. And then I thought, I should go back to this. Also, he had this color in stock.
yes,
See, Jeff, I'm trying to save you money.
yes. Oh, no, that was my brother Wally. He would steer the customers too. He said, don't you think you really want this blue instead of that blue?
Because we have a can of it in stock.
Yes, we do.
Well, now a thing of paint is big dough.
Yes, yeah. And even then, it was not horrible. But, we painted with the death paint back then, which was the DuPont Imron with lead in it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you want something painted Imron, you got to take it south of the border where they can still use that.
What do you think of the length there?
Well, you're going to go bushwhacking in the woods? And catch that on there?
No, we want an arrow rod.
Oh no, but see now we gotta pull that down.
Oh, that's not.
We gotta bring that down to the tab. Bring that tab down to the stop spot.
Good catch.
There we go. Snug, but not too snug,
Yeah.
because it's got to do that a little bit.
Yeah, it's hitting the tab now.
So let's go right here. Start here with the fingernails,
All right.
and then you finish up with the cable. You get it all done at the same time.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you
you're-
could get your
When you're
manicure
a
while
bike
doing this.
mechanic, you never have time to go for the manicure or get your hair done.
So what we would do is we would work on bikes all day, have grease all over our hands,
We sure did.
and then we'd go to Nana's and have a hot dog without washing our hands. That's why we're so healthy today.
We sure were full of grease, weren't we?
Ron, this thing turned out awesome. Thanks
It
for your
sure
help.
did.
If I didn't have you here for that cable routing, I maybe would have figured it out. I don't know. It took some work, but
And spectacular paint job.
wonderful paint job. Jeff, thanks for the paint job. It
Look
looks
at the
awesome.
beautiful gold on there.
Craziness.
Yeah.
Not even, you can't even feel it.
Nearly 24 karat.
24 carats worth of gold. That's
Yep.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Really quick, before we finish this, you said you work support for Race Across America.
Yep.
What was it like kind of doing that day to day?
3 years.
3 years.
Day to day. Well, the 10 days across.
Right.
3 times 10 days across.
We got 30 days on the road.
That first year, everybody's pretty nervous. I'm pretty nervous. You're the support crew. What if it gets a flat tire?
Right.
Yeah. What if somebody steals the bike? What if the rest of the support crew forget how to take care of stuff?
Right.
So everybody's trying to keep Lon going down the highway. And we get out of LA and we jump from a regular bike with regular wheels to the blue Aero bike with the Aero wheels with sew-up tubular tires glued on, because we're going to go out on the highway, I-10, I believe it's Southern California, and it's going to be desert. So off they go, John Howard and John Marino and Seacrest and Lon. And ABC's got a helicopter. They're filming from a helicopter with a film crew.
Uh-oh.
With film, not video, but film.
Right, right.
And going down the highway, and you're in the little car following Lon, and you got 12 water bottles, and if he waves you up, you hand him a bottle or two. But he's there, we're here, and here's this helicopter flying backwards with the cameraman hanging out the side of the helicopter. But they're flying down the highway where we're going, and Lon's riding, and he's bunny hopping over cars that are coming the other way, the helicopter.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, gee. So, 50 miles down the highway, we get to a rest stop. We stop because it's 110 degrees.
Is it kicking up dust or anything? Making it
No,
hard?
it's just there. It's like there. And we get to the rest stop, and you buy, 900 pounds of ice because you want to keep all the food fresh.
Right.
And I hear a man named Larry Kim on the phone, because I don't think people had cell phones back then.
Right, right.
So he's screaming on this payphone, and I'm overhearing this. And he's the producer director of this filming of the Great American Bike Race. And he's screaming at ABC, and he's like, no, you don't understand. I want the helicopter again tomorrow when we're in Arizona. And they're telling him no because it's too much money. He goes, I don't care how much money the helicopter is. He says, and I want the helicopter when we cross the Mississippi River, and I want the helicopter when we go into Manhattan at the finish of the race. And damn it, you better give me the helicopter. It's going to be hell to pay.
Wow.
So he hangs up, and I said, Mr. Cam, I overheard your conversation. I said, and I'm helping with Lon, I'm mechanic support. And I was watching a helicopter earlier today, and guy made me a little bit nervous. And I explained what had happened, flying backwards, bunny hopping the cars.
Sure.
And Larry Cam, the producer, looks at me and he says, did you ever see the James Bond movie where the guy flies the helicopter inside the airplane hangar?
Right.
I said, yeah. He says, that's the pilot.
That's the guy.
I said, Mr. Cam, I'm not nervous anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you for explaining that.
He's cool.
I said, let's get back to the race. And off we went.
That's cool.
So that was a moment. That was like, holy cow.
What an experience for you, though. Did you say you had some stuff over there to show me?
And I do. Well, you went off and got the bike painted. Did you take your Snap-on toolbox and get it painted too?
No.
Well, how are you going to get the decals on the Snap-on toolbox? Oh, yeah.
All right, that's going on the toolbox
Yeah.
or somewhere cool.
And you can't,
Awesome.
you can't ride that bike without an RRB jersey. So,
Did you get that in extra, like, huge dude size like me?
yeah, probably.
That is a good size. Oh, yeah.
uh,
Look at that.
You know, most people don't know that this last week was your birthday.
It was.
So happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
39 plus tax, title, license, destination, charge, and rust proofing.
Exactly. So,
That's
and
beautiful. I'll keep that with the bike.
You need to know where to ride.
Lake
And
Geneva area.
so there's a guy that we know up that way who put this together years and years ago.
Lon Haldeman.
He did all these maps.
Oh, he did all the maps. Well, cool. Do all the bike clubs have this? So they could do their little plan routes. And everything?
Some of them do. Some of them do.
That's going to be handy. Oh, look at this. Hey guys, check this out. This is the same lug. I noticed it right away. Same lug that he built this bike out of, except for how'd you do these top lugs? How do you get these top lugs to work? Now, for those that you don't know, that's a 1 1/8 inch top tube, and those lugs were not designed for it.
We cut off the 1-inch socket, both ends, and we mitered on the milling machine a piece of 4130 chromoly tubing,
Okay.
and then we lugless brazed it with nickel bronze like we do on the lugless frames,
Okay.
and then fitted it all together, shaped it a little bit. It's nice to make it a little bit shape.
Wow.
And that way the tube goes in, and when you silver braze it, and 500 degrees less temperature, the nickel bronze keeps its shape intact, and you, voila, you got a frame.
Voila.
With
All
an
right.
oversized top tube.
Well, that's awesome. That's nice to have for the collection.
You bet.
I'll keep the jersey and the lugs together with this frame, and I'm hoping I could fit my body into that jersey. We'll have to
Yes.
check that out.
And we want video of the first ride.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that for sure.
All the way to Lake Geneva and back.
Maybe not in this one.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Thanks for having me here, John.
Hey, you know
This is
what,
great.
Ron? It's a pleasure, and hopefully the viewers had a great time. I'm sure they did. And just, gosh, what a blessing to have you here. I learned
We
a
get
lot.
at least 2 gold stars out of 5.
All right,
We'll
well,
be happy.
I'll take the gold stars. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Guys, thanks so much for tuning into this video. You have no idea what this video means to me. If you grew up in Chicago, you knew, all the characters in this video. You saw the Jeffrey Bach bikes riding around. You've seen Ron Boi's team everywhere. You see the RRB bikes that everyone coveted and everyone wanted. You saw, Race Across America where you see these bikes. And you knew Lon Haldeman. He was a local guy. He went to all the local rides. And I remember drafting him, sucking his wheel on the Harman 100 a couple times, which is the Wheeling Wheelman's ride. So, yeah, it's a big deal for me to have 3 legends in one video and 1 wannabe. So, thanks so much for watching. Yeah, I'm talking to Lon too. Hopefully, we're going to get him on the channel here soon. I'll go up to his place and see his collection, talk about his career and what he's currently doing. So that's exciting for me as well. Stay tuned, we have a lot more coming. But in this video, please leave a comment down below. Thank Ron for coming on, Give him your hellos, give him your thanks, give him everything you got. Same thing with Lon as well. What else do I got for you? Hey, stay tuned. We're just going to show a few snippets of this bike in its finished state. So thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.